Hello again, I'm Jake.
And I'm Marlin.
aka Gee, and welcome once again to my grandparents' house. Probably one of the last times we'll be filming here. They're moving.
Not too far away.
Still. Well, it's going to be weird not filming here again in a little bit, but take advantage of the time we have. Speaking of which, today we're going to be reacting to the now, I believe, 8 or 7 years old honest trailer for the original Matrix, with the new one coming out later this week. And I like the Matrix, the original one. It's not the greatest action movie it was built up to be, but I enjoyed it. It was fun. Have you ever seen it?
I've seen it, yes. It's not particularly my kind of movie, but it really had some interesting effects, and the storylines kept you guessing.
Good style, and the honest trailers, we both enjoy it very much, so without further ado, let's watch and see what they have to say. Comments demanding it.
Fine, we'll do the freaking Matrix. From the Wachowski brothers, siblings.
Now it's
the
sisters.
mind-blowing sci-fi game changer, and the 2 sequels that took a huge steaming dump on it. The Matrix and its sequels.
Oh, look at all of them.
The most original sci-fi franchise since Star Wars that ultimately went all Jar Jar Binks on itself. Kinda like Star Wars. Relive all the awesome moments you loved from the first film, the one sequence you liked from the second,
Yep.
and absolutely nothing from the third.
Yeah.
Jack into the Matrix, a virtual reality simulation of the late 90s, full of flip phones, pay phones, mini discs, outfits straight out of a Marilyn Manson video, and AOL screen names.
This is A-Block, Switch, and Cypher, Tank, and his big brother Dozer.
You've got mail. Watch as one hacker named Neo, which is an anagram for one, becomes the one who can only make one facial expression. But he's not alone. Meet Trinity, the love of Neo's life, and Morpheus, the other love of Neo's life.
What you
Bro
know you
love.
can't explain, but you feel it. It is this feeling that has brought you to me. You are the one, Neo. I've spent my entire life looking for you. Try to relax. This will feel a little weird. He is the one.
Gotcha. Get a room, you two. Together, they'll face off against Agent Smith, a villain so cool. They just copied him a bunch of times instead of coming up with another cool bad guy. Watch as these two battle in this awesomely choreographed kung fu fight. Then in this CGI bullshit. And
Yeah.
then in this Dragon Ball Z ripoff.
Huh. Yeah.
Kamehame? Nah. Journey to the Matrix, a world of limitless possibilities that had audiences everywhere questioning their own existence. And then Journey to Zion, a world of sweaty cave raiders. Really?
Got real horny
We're
real
gonna spend half of
fast.
This trilogy here? Can we just watch some bullet time again? Nice. So settle in for a film that spawned 1,000 imitators, from its effects, to its tone, to its wardrobe, to its own sequels. And prepare for the thinking man's action franchise that got stuck way too far up its own ass by the end of part 2.
While the sensor functioned, it was obviously fundamentally flawed, thus creating the otherwise contradictory systemic anomaly that if
This guy's the master of not taking breaths while talking.
I have no idea what he's talking about. Is it too late for me to take the blue pill? Starring Kung Fu Jesus, female Keanu Reeves, Lawrence and the Machine, White Chicks, The Oracle, Where It All Went Wrong, Jaden's Mom, The Last Spoonbender, Mr. Ambient, Mormons, Squidward, and Monica Bellucci. Ha, just kidding. Boobs. The Matrix and its sequels. You know it's a bad sign when your video game and direct-to-DVD cartoon are better than your movies.
Goodbye.
Click click on the box to the left for the Screen Junkie Show 1-year extravaganza featuring Cinema Sins, How It Should Have Ended,
Yeah,
The
it's
Nostalgia
been a
Critic,
while.
and many more. Yeah, bitch. Magnets. Better call Saul. My name is Asac Schrader, and you can go yourself. I'm gonna send you to Belize. If we're gonna go that way, you're gonna need a bigger knife. Say the words. Say you want this. Nothing happens until I hear you say it.
Always tradition to read comment requests.
Okay.
Sometimes they're funnier than others, but yeah.
Some of them are funnier than others.
And John Bailey, the Honest Trailer voice guy, I notice he sounds a little not quite as deep as he does now in the older days.
Yeah.
Like still getting the hang of it.
Yes, and but still worth a listen.
And it's quicker than like the Honest Trailers nowadays can range from 5 to 8 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But this did a good job of summarizing the Matrix trilogy.
Yeah, it's very good, very very concise. Good renaming of characters. That was pretty good.
Yeah. And the first one was definitely the best. I watched it and it was a nice little action film. They did a lot for, like their budget was I think 50 million or less, and they made the most of it. Had great style, great sequences, and well, Keanu Reeves admittedly wasn't the most, his character Neo wasn't the most interesting protagonist. He carried the film.
Mm-hmm.
But then the sequels, it's kind of like the Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy. The first one was thought up just to be its own movie.
Mm-hmm.
Then, because it was successful, they decided, let's make a trilogy. But, like, the second and third ones become like this one big story together that doesn't really feel like it connects a lot to the first one.
Or even to itself. But you know, it's that's my problem. It's my problem. I quit watching them, so I can't really comment on those to an extent. At least, certainly not all three of them.
The thing I find with The Matrix is the philosophical stuff. Even in the first one, like there were a few interesting ideas, but after a while, it really does, like he nailed it here. It really sounds like the Wachowskis just pulled it out of their asses, just come up with whatever they thought could sound meaningful if someone said it in a emotionless, monotone voice. But when you really think about what they're saying, it just feels like they're going on and doesn't really amount to anything. And yeah, the stuff with that old guy in the second one, that scene went on for like 15 minutes. And the only thing that really stuck out to me was that guy was able to do all that without going in between each sentence.
Well, at least it was memorable. So I mean.
And the second one, I do think, is kind of a bad film, because this is where they just were jumping the shark all over the place, and they were having every actor, no matter how talented they were, just speak with little emotion, just coming off very wooden. But the film, I do give it is worth a watch for one reason. The chase scene near the end, where Morpheus, Trinity, everybody is fighting to save this guy called the Keymaker, and they're standing on top of a trucker rig as it's going down the highway. And this sequence, the fighting, the cars, everything, like there's this great shot where the camera is following the truck and it goes under the wheels, under the truck, out and all over the place. To me, that chase scene is possibly the most intense and engaging chase sequence I've ever seen, and it totally makes the film worth watching. The third one was just like it was a step down, not as high as the second one, and basically was too retarded to make fun of at times. They just tried to wrap everything up. Hence the new one being called The Matrix Resurrections. They're being a little hush on the plot, but it sounds like somehow Neo and Trinity are brought back to life, like they were killed in the third one.
Oh. It's like Chucky. He keeps coming back for the next movie.
we just watched Child's Play, so he's a little getting up his Chucky high. And also, just want to mention the Messiah, Jesus symbolism they do with Neo gets unbelievably ridiculous by the third one. Like, the third one ends with him dying like this, and there's actually a glowing cross in the center of him when he dies.
Just in case you missed it, huh?
Yeah, like, as if you couldn't make it any more obvious what you were trying to say. Sorry. And the characters, like, as wooden as they can get, the characters that I do think were the best in the original Matrix were, one, Agent Smith, played by Hugo Weaving. He was a good villain in the first one, and while they kind of messed it up with the second and third. Hugo Weaving, he's the only actor that really brings... It's weird, because he's supposed to be stiff and emotionless like the rest of them, but he still brings more human characteristics than the actual humans. And it's just funny. I was kind of wondering if they were going to do a Lord of the Rings reference here. They didn't, because he's also Elrond from Lord of the Rings. And the only other character who I really got into in the first one was Cypher, the bald guy who kind of tries to betray them, played by Joe Pantoliano. Again, he was the only one who really had any personality beyond just speaking, this is what we must do, you are the one. Lawrence Fishburne, yes, he's a badass, but Morpheus just kind of became goofy as it went on.
They just had a franchise they wanted to keep pumping, and it just, instead of highs and lows, it just...
I wouldn't say it crashed, it just didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah, just...
I will agree, what they say at the end there, like, I haven't played the video game, but the Animatrix, this movie that was made kind of around the same time as the sequels, was actually pretty good. If I had to choose my favorite Matrix film that I've seen so far, I think it would be the Animatrix.
Okay, I've never seen it, so.
To describe it, it's basically an anthology film about life in the Matrix. Each story is with a different group of characters, and each story is made by different filmmakers, I believe. And they're all pretty cool and interesting. Some of them are done traditional, some CGI, and some, in Japanese anime style. I definitely recommend giving it a watch, and the honest trailer, the way they wrapped up with the funny names, that was pretty good. One that kind of...
The reference to the people, all the guys in dark suits.
Mormons, yeah, that was my favorite.
Mormons was a fun shot.
Yeah. Hasadiga Ibawai. And short, sweet, to the point, but they get everything in, and don't know what the new one will be like. I think at this point, especially with the new COVID variant, I'm not sure I'm up for going to the theater again this year, but I'll probably give it a watch when it comes out on DVD or Blu-ray. Be interesting. I mean, Blade Runner 2049 showed us a sequel decades later can work, but who knows?
Who knows?
Did you have fun?
Yeah. I always like the honest trailers, and they make good fun, and they are very, very good at not really mean most of the time trashing.
Unless it's really bad.
Trashing movies. They're excellent at it.
And I just want to say, I like Keanu Reeves. He has shown in many movies he's pretty good. Like, he can play all types of characters.
Yes, he can.
And because he was popular for a while for people to hate him, I think the reason people hated him for so long was because of the Matrix. Just how he was stuck in this stiff, emotionless role where it's clear they think he's cooler than he actually is, but films like John Wick showed he could carry a film in more ways than one, and I guess Lana Wachowski got the hint because they're having him retain his John Wick look according to the new trailer.
Whatever's working.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, check out the other vids on the channel, and hopefully see you again soon.
Soon.